Hello, Aries, and welcome to April. Starts off with the concentration of energy and focus on you in your first house, as well as your 12th house, Pisces. Neptune just entered your sign at 0 degrees, which is the Fool card in the tarot, and it's the degree of new beginnings, and that happened on March 31st as well. There was a beautiful new moon solar eclipse in your sign at 9 degrees, and the portal of energy remains with us for 60 weeks before and after that eclipse, felt strongest and culminating within 6 months by the time of the Aries full moon, October 6th at 14 degrees. This powerful eclipse was in a wide sextile with the planet of transformation Pluto in Aquarius from your 11th house of hopes, dreams, wishes, large networks, windfalls, helping you transform a dream or goal or set it in motion to see some kind of fruition in the next several weeks or by the time of the full moon in October. This could be a healing change, especially since you still have Chiron, the wounded healer, in your first house. And this could be, the healing change could be around your identity, creating a new identity that will emerge now, if it hasn't already, over the next 6 months. And that could be like single to married, single to partnered, married to single, partner to single, since we do have that full Libra moon taking place in your partnership house, which shows a culmination or a potential release by April 12th. But don't worry, it could also just be like a focus on you at that time and not so much on a significant other. A focus on the other. Also, you could be becoming a mother, father, etc., because Saturn will join Neptune in the first house by the end of May, indicating a new role in life, new responsibilities that come with the title. Don't worry, Aries, you'll be ready for it. All the prep work was already happening while Neptune and Saturn were transiting your 12th house of the hidden, of rest, seclusion, artistic projects, just to name a few. If this isn't a child, this can be an artistic project, a new business, a nonprofit that maybe we're working on behind the scenes, and it will be brought forth once Saturn moves onto the ascendant in May. It could also be that you've been in retreat mode with a stellium in that 12th house for the past few months and have been feeling like withdrawn from the world for a while now, working on your health, rest, image, and body, and soon will be emerging like a butterfly from the cocoon, especially with the solar eclipse on your sun, moon, or ascendant. April 8th through April 30th, Mercury goes direct in Pisces at 26 degrees, showing a slow but now forward momentum in 12th house matters, such as fantasy projects, artistic divine downloads, charity work. Maybe there was a block around long distance or foreign shore travel or foreign shore business, and now that block can be removed. Passport issues can be resolved now and over the next few weeks. You could also be like doing or making something significant with your voice, your hands, music, writing, artistic projects in general. Since Neptune newly entered Aries, but at 0 degrees, so this is still like a conjunction. It could be divine downloads, and Mercury rules the hands. That's why I was mentioning hands before. Moving on. It could be divine downloads or sudden aha moments of inspiration, because this deals with the 12th house of dreamscapes and past lives. You could have been away on a long distance trip with a partner, or just more behind the scenes with them and away from prying eyes, and probably enjoying yourself since Venus was there with Mercury, indicating like fun activities, loving communication, healing communication, vacationing near water, or if unattached while traveling, you could have met a past life love or someone that feels familiar to you, because they most likely are in this scenario. Maybe while you stopped at like a local cafe while traveling abroad, for example, Mercury would show you would meet them through like the day-to-day activities there or even online. There could have been a hidden romance with this aspect too, or a relationship that has been developing behind the scenes. Venus will be conjuncting Saturn, the North Node, and Venus throughout the whole month of April. On the 22nd, the North Node, Venus, and Saturn will form an exact conjunction at 26 degrees before slowly separating. Mercury is also in the mix with the conjunction, and this mass conjunction is being sextiled by shock and awe planet Uranus and Taurus. This could be a sudden business idea, as you have Uranus and Taurus in the second house, showing a unique way of making money from some flash insight, maybe around like artistic projects, or you get an idea, like some kind of business idea, writing projects. It could be a business you start with a family member or a close partner. You could also be more confident about signing contracts now, but wait for Mercury to be out of shadow by April 26th. If this does have to do with the love, just wait until Venus is direct and out of shadow as well by May 16th before signing on to anything, committing fully to anything. Okay. April 12th, the full moon in Libra at 23 degrees is happening in your 7th house of other, and it trines Jupiter and Gemini. Okay. We do have Chiron in your first house opposing this moon exact. There could be difficulty around meeting emotional matters or having your emotional needs met, or a partner is feeling that way since it's happening in the partnership house. Maybe you and a partner are at odds about something, and it could have to do with like a creative project with that stellium in the 12th, and there's an inconjunct with a lot of those planets in the 12th over to this full moon, which an inconjunct is 150-degree separation between two planets, and it just shows like two energies that really just don't understand each other. Okay, or on a heavier note, it could be an addiction issue is there, and there's something going on in a partnership, or maybe they have been trying to heal from a health matter and are struggling physically and emotionally at the moment. There could be financial debts involved. This is 12th house, is a house of debts, and Venus rules your 7th, or I don't know, maybe a partner had hidden debts that are being revealed at the time of this full moon. With Chiron in the first house opposing the full moon, there could be issues brought out into the open around feeling vulnerable in a partnership, or some emotional wound you may have being activated at this time, or an insecurity. The full moon reveals and shows a culmination around a partnership matter, and if this is a relationship issue here, there could be a breaking away indicated by Uranus in the second. And if it's not that, you could be looking for unconventional ways to bring in money or to earn money in a different way. And the way forward is maybe confusing at the moment. And again, this has to deal with like this inconjunct happening with like Uranus, to that full moon. Sorry if I didn't explain that before. Maybe this has nothing to do with you. And again, it's something that your partner is dealing with, but it trickles down to you and it affects you. Maybe your partner is away on foreign travel or at some distance from you, and it's creating a feeling of like loneliness or lack of intimacy right now. And it could be triggering that Chiron wound in your first house. Okay, what's the sweet spot? Where's the good news? I'm going to give it to you. Jupiter. Look to communication with that partner in business or love. Jupiter and Gemini in that third house of communication and thoughts. And, it's kind of like that day-to-day monkey brain that we can sometimes get caught up in the third house. But this is trining the full moon. It's also a house of friendship, so it could be a friend or a sibling or a cousin, family member is offering sage advice at this time, helping you through the situation. Could be a guru or a teacher, a doctor, a therapist can be the bridge between you and another at this time. If you don't feel the help is coming from there, maybe just spending time with a friend or travel within your local community can help. Like daily walks in nature around this time to clear the head and lift your thoughts. But also diving into like a writing project or working with little children. I think there's truly nothing more pure in this world than the laughter and seeing the world through the eyes of the littles. It's such a balm for the soul. I remember the happiest sound I ever heard was when my daughter and I went to go see this beautiful, kind of like vintage theater we have. And excuse me, throughout the year they offer free movies on Sundays, and they were showing Encanto. And at some funny point in the movie, this theater was full, I don't know, maybe 100 people with families and little children. And you just heard the laughter of little children giggling throughout this whole theater all at the same time. My daughter and I looked at each other, and it was just the sweetest moment. You can't help but smile when something like that's happening. It's, the most beautiful and pure thing. Okay, enough with my tangent. Whatever is coming up at this full moon, maybe I was focused on that because maybe that's what you need to do. Oftentimes when I get these like hits or downloads or drive to say something, there's a reason for it. But whatever is coming up at this full moon, know that this too shall pass. And remember, Jupiter is here to help in that third house area, but also Jupiter is sextiling Chiron in your first house, so helping you as well as a partner. On April 13th, Venus goes direct in Pisces at 24 degrees. Venus is exalted in Pisces in that 12th house. She actually likes being there at the Pisces degree. You can start to make plans for like home design, painting, art and beautification projects, beauty treatments for yourself, in rest and seclusion like a spa day. Decisions in love can be made. Just give sleepy Venus a few more weeks to be like fully direct before you sign on any dotted line if there's contracts involved. You can gain momentum in creative projects, therapy if you are involved in any healing at this time, especially if you're doing like physical therapy at home, for another example, or in seclusion. Like I am right now, I have a knee issue, but I do a lot of the work at home. Business can gain momentum, especially if you have business with foreign clientele. You could be gaining money from foreign shores, foreign contracts. Like, let's say you offer services online and money can start to come in, or you can get like a big fish, big client, no pun intended, 12th house Pisces. You could just be enjoying time alone in seclusion with or without someone. I often love Venus in the 12th to work on like my creative projects, my creativity, to be alone, watch a fantasy movie series, read a book, something. Just to give you an example, I'm watching a show. I think it's on Prime. It's Myths and Monsters. It goes back to like mythology and fairy tales and things like that. I love it. Read a book, sit in a quiet cafe, and just love that time. It's also great for exercise like yoga, breath work, exercising at the beach, going to a spa retreat, anything that involves water, hot tub, etc. If there was any difficulty with a partner at the time of the full moon, Venus is moving into a trine with Mars, her lover, and this can definitely smooth things over, especially if you can find time for yourselves to spend alone. Venus in the secluded house of bed pleasures, trining over to her lover Mars in the 5th house of romance. I don't think anything more needs to be said. April 19th through June 18th, Mars, your ruler, is fully awake and ready to rip and roar as he goes into Leo, leaving that 4th house over to the 5th. If there have been any problems at home, within the home, with family members, renovations at home, you can start to see relief and momentum and forward progress now. Excuse me. As Mars heads into a house and energy that he likes, Leo, there can be more fun in expressing yourself, feeling happier, less heavy, lighter, having fun times with children, being active with children, sports, romance can happen while you're out and about or just enjoying yourself. Meeting somebody new while you're at a sporting event. Mars rules you and is in a friendly sign, trining your sun, moon, or ascendant. The next 2 months are a great time to move forward with your creative projects if you have any, especially since you had the solar eclipse in your 1st house at the beginning of the month, still in effect and giving you a great push forward. The time to act is now, Aries. The portal is open. Do be careful as well if you're not planning for a child, because this is a baby-making aspect. Just to be forewarned, Mars rules you and the 8th house of Scorpio. So yeah, if you meet someone new at this time, this could be a passionate affair for the books. You could just be feeling more confident and expressive, having more sexy vibe now, if the other stuff wasn't the case. As the sun rules Leo and is in your 1st house, and Mars rules you, but is in Leo's house. So there's like the rulership is exchanged. So you can be very charismatic and successful now with this placement, or possibly even be in the spotlight for a win or new leadership role or opportunity. Let's not forget that Venus will also move back into your 1st house by the end of the month and all throughout May. So look to May as like a really great time to, just be feeling more beautiful, doing beautification procedures, because Venus will be direct, Mars will be direct. Yeah. And let's see, and it will stay with you all the way to that 1st week of June. You're going to be the main dish, Aries. April 20th through May 21st, Sun moves into Taurus, energizing and highlighting money matters, banking, luxury goods, your diet, what you eat and drink, highlighting that if you need to make any changes. You could be more focused on your earnings, your face, your mouth, or rather how you earn money, separate from a main partner. Because the 8th house is where we share money with a partner. The 2nd is where you have that hustle and flow and you're working on it to build up your own security. So you're going to be more focused on security and what brings you comfort, as this is Taurus's domain. On April 27th, the new moon in Taurus at 7 degrees in its second house, is squared by Mars in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune. Mars and Leo and Pluto in Aquarius are exactly opposite each other at this time. And this is the last of the opposition, thank God, which already happened 2 times this year. So this energy isn't new to you. So just to be forewarned and not to be afraid. It may look like a bit of disillusionment around a creative project with a group of people or a business idea that you are a part of with a group, running into a jam or a power struggle, or some way of making money not panning out the way you were hoping it would. There is a final battle or push to balance this 5th house Leo and 11th house Aquarius energy. There could be parenting issues or issues around a child versus friend groups, the community, the public in some way. There could be a great divide between the two, a power struggle between your love partner and the community or friend groups, or the way this person is viewed maybe. Maybe you feel like you're being held back in the way you want to express yourself or put your creative projects out into the world versus how the world actually sees you. There can also be a power struggle or intense emotions around the way that you want to express yourself in the collective or an intimate partner. Because Pluto rules your 8th house and is sitting over there in the 11th, there can be big growth as long as a balance is struck, a shaking of hands, so to speak. Again, this is not new energy, and I feel the last time you will have to deal with the opposition for a while. However, this is a sweet spot. Aquarius sextiles your sun, moon, or ascendant, and Leo trines you. So I really think this may not be as hard for you as it will be for the rest of the signs. Per aspera ad astra, through hardships to the stars, Aries. See you next month.